There, now it's going.
Okay, here's the dealio. Since it's our first test, we're going to take things slow, and we're going to go through it one step at a time. So the first step is that your name and class is at the top. So make sure you have that in pencil. I'll tell you when we're going to use the colors, so you don't need to worry about those right now. You will see on the front that there are 3 sections. There's the reading section, the listening section, and the writing section. We're going to go through them one at a time, okay? If you flip it over to the back, these are the rubrics for each section. So for the reading section, in order to get a 100%, you need to answer both the questions, what it is, like what's the picture of, and where is it. And you need to give at least 3 facts or more that are describing the setting. There is way more than 3 in the paragraph. Okay, and those are the same things that you need to do on the writing or in the reading. And then in the writing, you'll see that you need to write 3 sentences in Spanish, and you need to include certain description aspects. We will go through each one of those before we do each part, okay? But I just want to let you know that we are going to be flipping from front to back, because you're going to actually grade your own. I mean, I'll check them. But you're going to grade your own, and you'll see what kind of a score you ended up with today in class. No waiting, okay? So as we go through the reading, you are specifically trying to read for these details. And I don't want you to start yet, okay? What is it? Don't say a picture. Like, what is it a picture of? Don't tell me.
Oh, a thing. It's something.
Should any of your voices be on right now?
No.
No, I'm not asking a question. This is what you're thinking of as you read. You're also going to make sure you have, when you write out your translation, where is it? And that is in the text. Like, I have written all these things for you. You're not making any of this up for the reading. Okay? And then you also need to have, at least it says, 3 or more descriptions. This could be things like the weather, or maybe what there is in the picture, like what you can see. Okay? But again, I have given you the answers. You're not making anything up for the reading and the listening. Okay? Put your hands down. I am not done explaining. I will let you ask questions when I'm done explaining. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to read through this paragraph together. It's up here. It's also on your paper, so why don't you go and stay on the front side. And then salud. Salud. You are going to, in English, on the lines, write what those sentences mean. You're going to translate them into English. Okay? I don't care if you translate it word for word, the kind of like funny sounding way, or if you translate it so that it makes sense in English. Either one is fine, as long as the meaning of what you write is the same. And the reason why I'm having you write in English is it's showing me that you understand the Spanish. Does that make sense? Okay? Because later on, someone yesterday asked me like, why I didn't have you do the writing in English, and then we just got really confused. So we're reading in Spanish. That's the skill we're practicing on this part of the test. Okay? I'm going to read it out loud to you so that sometimes hearing the words helps you remember what they mean. But you have it in front of you to follow along with too. Is it cheating to use the anchor chart in front of the classroom with our vocab? No. It's up there for a reason. It's a resource for you. Okay, so use it. Now I will take questions about the reading part of the test. Jeremy.
Can we write more than 3 descriptions?
You can at least 3. So if you can translate the whole thing, do it. This is your opportunity to show off. Other questions?
Writing extra doesn't do anything, right?
No.
Okay.
As long as you have the minimum, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. It won't hurt you. Okay, I'm going to read through it in Spanish. You're going to think about what it means, and then I'll tell you when to start writing. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. En la foto hay una ciudad. La ciudad es Seattle. Está en Washington. Hace fresco. No hace calor. Está parcialmente nublado. Hay muchos edificios. Hay una montaña grande. All right, you are writing in English on the lines what those sentences mean. If you don't know a word, just skip it and keep on going. If you're not sure how to phrase the sentence, at least get some words and ideas on paper. Go. In English.
We have to write the whole thing in English?
Yes,
Okay.
as much as you can at least. If you finish each part early and you have a book you'd like to read, that's fine. Otherwise, you can just sit for a minute or two and patiently wait for our friends to finish. Because I don't want you, well, you can't move ahead to the next part. Take your time. When you're done, go back and reread it. Make sure you didn't accidentally skip a sentence or something. I believe in you all. If you're stuck on a word, skip it, leave an empty space, continue on with the words you do know. And then you can always come back and maybe you'll be able to fill some in. If you can do the whole thing, try to do the whole thing in English. Read it, double check. Make sure you have what it is a picture of. Make sure you have the where is that thing located. Make sure you have at least 3 descriptions in English that were used in the paragraph. Things like weather, or what there is in the picture, what you can see. If there's any part you need me to reread, because it will help you understand it, just raise your hand, let me know. One more minute. Liam, you can't be making noises when people are trying to think. Pencils down in 15, 14, 12, 0. Alright, you have two colors. Every time we're going to use both colors. So we're going to use both colors on the reading, both colors on the listening, and both colors on the writing. And every time you need to use the same color first. So pick which one you're going to use first. Alright, here's what we're going to do. There are certain things that you're going to look for in your answer. And if you have them, you are either going to circle or highlight or underline them. If you don't have them, is there anything for you to do? No, you don't do anything, okay? So only circle, highlight, or underline the things that we are looking for. In your first color, we are specifically looking for the answers to our two questions. What is it and where is it? Can anyone tell me one of those answers? Jordan. Oh, it's a city. Okay, so if you have city in your description anywhere, like in the first two sentences probably,
Yeah.
I want you to circle or highlight the word city with your first color.
Wait, where you wrote or you?
Where you wrote the word city in your English. Not in my part, in your part. Okay, now we need to say, where is it? Liam? Where is that city located? It's in Washington. So if you have Washington, that is the second thing that you need to highlight or circle in the first part. Question, Andy? Okay. Now, flip your paper over. Please look up here, because yesterday we had all sorts of problems like circling the wrong spots. In this first row, do you see where it says answers the main idea questions of a description? You see like the row, not where the numbers are, but right under the numbers? Okay, if you answered both the what and the where, meaning you had city and Washington, I want you to highlight or circle this 100% underneath the 100%. Not the number itself, right underneath it.
So what is the what?
Yes. If you have both of those, then you circle or highlight that box. This box right here.
Finish filling it.
Nope, in the first color you still use, same color. If you only had one of those, so if you said city but maybe not Washington, or you had Washington but not city, you're going to highlight or circle right underneath where the 90% is. And if you didn't have either of them, you're going to highlight or circle the redo box. We all have a box marked in that first row.
Yeah.
Alright, flip it back over. Switch colors.
Okay.
Jeremiah, what's the other color I should use? Alright, now we are looking for 3 or more descriptions to describe the picture. Not the city, not Washington, but what else? How else did we describe it? Maddie, give me one.
There are many buildings.
Ah, yes, so if you mention buildings, you can highlight or circle that. If you have the word buildings, Anna Viney.
It makes cool or fresh.
Yes, if you had that it's cool or fresh or chilly, that would be fine. Highlight or circle that. Addie.
It's partially cloudy.
Yes, if you had cloudy at all, you can put that in there. Jack.
It doesn't make heat.
Not hot or not warm. Yes. You have to have the not part in order to highlight that one. Axton?
There is a mountain there.
Yes, mountain. If you mentioned the mountain, that would be another one. There's one more technically that's a description that we didn't. I didn't mean for it to be one, but it just happened to be in there extra. Desiree?
Seattle.
Yeah, the city's name is Seattle, so if you had Seattle in there, that's also describing the city. Okay, so did you notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible descriptions? Is there
Yes.
more?
No, I have questions. If I put no make heat,
That's fine.
so like there is no heat.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Axton?
The colors that Jeremiah shows are frustrating me because they're the opposite.
Oh, sorry, Axton. I'll pick some different ones next time.
Opposite color.
Alright, count how many of these descriptions you had. Count them up.
What?
Count them. Count how many you highlighted in yours. There's a maximum of 6. You can't have more than 6. Okay, now flip it back over. And in the next row, where it says describe the setting, did you have at least 3 of those? If you had 3 or more, give yourself the 100% box. If you had at least 2, give yourself the 90%. If you only had 1, the 80%. If you did not have any of those descriptions, redo. Questions on the reading? How do we do so far?
Good.
Feeling pretty good? Okay. All right, moving on to the listening. So grab your pencils. And I have to find the one thing I forgot to open. Here's how the listening is going to work. I am going to read a description. The first time through, you just need to listen. Okay? Because you're just trying to understand what I'm saying to get a preview of everything. The second time through, then you will write. Then you'll say what I'm saying. You'll write the English of what I'm saying in Spanish. The third time through, you'll check it over. Okay? So the first time through, you're just listening and looking and trying to understand. Got it? All right. En la foto hay una ciudad. You're not writing, Abby. You're just listening. Es una ciudad rural. Rural. Está en Vermont. Hace fresco. Está parcialmente nublado. No hay carros. No hay personas. Hay muchos árboles. All right, grab your pencils. I'm going to pause after every sentence to give you time to write. Okay? Here we go. En la foto hay una ciudad. You're writing in English. En la foto hay una ciudad. Es rural. Es rural. And remember, if you don't know something, just like draw a line and skip it, and then we can always come back and try to fill it in when I reread it. Está en Vermont. Está en Vermont. Hace fresco. Hace fresco. Está parcialmente nublado. No hay carros. No hay carros. No hay personas. No hay personas. Hay muchos árboles. Hay muchos árboles. I'm going to read through it one more time, and I want you to check it. And specifically, as you read through your answers and listen to me, Did you get what it is a picture of? Did you get where it is? And do you have at least 3 more descriptions? That's what your goal is. If you didn't, you gotta listen again and try to catch what you missed, okay? Es una ciudad. Es rural. Está en Vermont. Hace fresco. Está parcialmente nublado. No hay carros. No hay personas. Hay muchos árboles. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
What's up, Aaron?
You say it once more.
One more time, fast. Es una ciudad. Es rural. Está en Vermont. Hace fresco. Está parcialmente nublado. No hay carros. No hay personas. Hay muchos árboles. Grab your first color again. Whatever color you used first last time.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna pick different ones Axton so I don't confuse you.
No, it was just annoying.
I know, I'll pick different ones. Okay. So with our first color, I'm gonna use Billy Labuconda colors. You need to say what it is or where is it. So what is it? Addie? A city again. So if you have the word city, highlight or circle that with your first color. And where was this city? Sarah? Vermont. I don't care how you spelled it in English as long as you can tell what word you mean. So if you had both of those, question on them? Okay, here we're waiting for the next one. Alright, in a minute. Flip it over. Now it's the same exact rubric, but you're in the listening section, so the rubric in the middle. If you answered both city and Vermont, right underneath 100% in that first box, you can highlight or circle it. If you only had city or Vermont, 90%. If you didn't have either, redo. And then flip it back and switch colors. What were some of our descriptions in here? Ariane. Cool or fresh or chilly. Oops. Brody?
It's partially cloudy.
Yes, so if you had cloudy at all. Remember using your second color. Jordan. It's rural. Yes. It's rural. Whoa. I'm getting wild with my markers. And remember, if you didn't have these, you just don't circle anything. It's okay. There's lots of extras. Abby.
There are people.
Not people. There are not people. You have to have the not part. If you said persons, that's fine too.
That's a no.
I don't
No people?
Yeah.
That's fine. And
no cars, and also, can I fix myself spelling, please?
sure.
Okay.
Not any cars or no cars. Anna?
And trees.
Many trees, if you mention trees. Let me see if we missed any. Got it. I think we got it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possible descriptions. Sarah, question? Rural? Rural means that it's like kind of in the country. There's not a ton of buildings, not tons of people. It's like spread out more. That's what rural is. Other questions? Alright, count up how many you got with your second color. So there were 6 possible, no more than 6. Flip it over. And in that second row, if you had at least 3 or more, give yourself the 100%. If you had 2, the 90. If you had 1, an 80. If you did not have any, the redo section. Questions on the listening? Enrique,
Wait, how many do you have to get? Like 3 or more?
read it.
Okay.
Your translation describes the setting of the passage using at least 3 facts.
Okay.
Other questions? Okay. We are moving on to the writing. Now, I'm going to give you a choice for what to write about. And these should be familiar to you. And I have a surprise in a minute, but I can't tell you that yet because I gotta tell you the other thing first. Unfortunately, you may not write about Seattle because I wrote about Seattle. I'm so sorry. I should have planned better. That's my bad. Okay. Take a look at the rubric for the writing. Because this is what you need to meet the requirements of in order to see what kind of grade you're going for here. Okay? So if you want a 100%, you need at least 3 sentences. Okay? So we're going for 3 sentences. I'm not going to write on top of that. 3 sentences or more. You need to write in Spanish. Is it okay if you include like the name of the place or a proper noun? Yes, because that doesn't change if it's in Spanish. But you shouldn't be throwing in random English words in there unless like you really can't do it in Spanish, but then that'll knock your grade way down. Okay? So that's the first part. You have 3 sentences in Spanish and you describe the picture that you have chosen. The second part in here, and you can read it for yourself, it says it includes all of these things. So you need to include the what, don't mind, the where, and then you also should include weather, so the weather in the picture, and what you can see, so what there is. What you can see. Okay? So you need to include all of those things if you want the 100%. Okay? Now, please keep in mind that you can use this to help you. And can anyone remember something I said
To the office with your thing,
last week about these pictures when we were doing this in class? Bree?
The dogs are in Alaska.
Oh, no, not that. Not about the content.
Sorry.
That's okay. What did I say when we were doing this? No one remembers?
No.
There was a reason why I was so hard on you about taking your notes. Remember, I was like, make sure you can read them, and I came around and checked them. Why did I tell you that I was doing that, Jeremiah?
Because it was an open note.
Because you can use that on your writing test. So go ahead and grab your notebooks out and find that page. If your notebook is in your locker, you may quietly and quickly go get it. Well, why don't you get it out just in case, and you don't have to open it then. I borrow yours. Okay, so in your notebook, you remember you should have it split into about 4 sections. This is the page you're looking for. And if you remember at the top, remember we like titled each picture in a box? That's the what. That tells you what it is. Notice, what was the first note we took? The where.
The bridge.
Oh, look, we also talked about the weather. Oh, and we also talked what you can see in the pictures. I hope you can read your own notes. Otherwise, just do your best with what you have available to you. Okay? Now, here's my challenge to you. Don't start yet. Here's my challenge to you. This is your opportunity to show off. So if you can write more than 3 sentences, do it. If you get something wrong in one of the later sentences, like maybe it's something not in your notes and you're just trying it, it's not going to hurt you as long as you have this. If you do anything more than this, it can't count against you. So you might as well try. This is your opportunity to show off, okay? Any questions about the writing? Wait, you're writing in Spanish. That's why you have the notes, why we're using that. Okay. Any questions about the writing? Addie?
As long as like you can tell what we're writing in Spanish, is it okay?
Yes. So spelling, not a concern as long as I can tell what word it is. Anna?
Does it have to be like in the correct order?
You should try,
Okay.
but otherwise your best is what I'm looking for.
Alright.
Yeah.
If you like accidentally put the color before the
That's
object.
okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so so in the bottom part of your test, it's your writing. You are just picking one of these three, okay? So just pick one. And then make sure you include what it is, where it is, what the weather's like, and what there is in the picture. Andres.
How can I do what it is in one of them? I don't know.
Well, look back at what I did. And model it after that. Just don't use the same words because it might not be the same thing. Axton.
I'm guessing we can use what there is not.
Correct.
And this is my strategy. Use a lot of
Yep.
both of those.
Yep, exactly.
Get what sentences.
Mm-hmm. Same with the weather. You can say what the weather's not like, too. Yep. Also remember, friends, we are in middle school, so sentences should have a capital letter at the beginning and a period or exclamation point at the end. Probably just a period because this is not very exciting. Oh, maybe. Maybe you're like, it's sunny! I don't know. Brody?
Can I go to the bathroom?
C. If I want you to come back and write more.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to class.
It's not enough, Brody. I need 48, so I'm just kidding. Read.
If you know the dog breed of the dogs.
No, that's too complicated for those ones.
Challenge accepted.
48? Oh gosh.
We need more paper. I'm not doing 48 sentences.
Please don't, please
48
don't.
topics.
Oh, that's not good though. That'll bump you down the rubric. You switch topics. Like if you start describing other pictures, that's bad.
Like topics of.
Ah, gotcha. You're good, Axton. As long as it's about the same picture.
Yes.
Yes. Write more, Andres.
Yeah, good question.
Yes.
Would the dog would that have sunny? You
Sure.
see like.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to look at like in the picture of the dogs that there's shadows, that tells you that it is sunny in the picture. It's actually sunny in all of them, so. answer. Sewing? What? Could be. Yeah. Yeah, some of those are opinion, so either one would work. Aaron?
How do I like?
This title up here, that's what it is. Mm-hmm.
Just trying to write snow. Just trying to live. Something to wait.
It has an E in it instead of an A. It's a noun. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, in the one with the bridge, this like all these little white specks back here, that's like a city. And there's lots of buildings, so you could add that in. Alright, you have 1 minute to finish writing. Un minuto.
I'm not gonna finish it all. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I add 2 more.
Man, that's just like nothing. Goodness.
So disappointed. I have 8.
Right there, if I pass you the wave, will you take it? Alright, you have 10 seconds to finish your sentence that you're in the middle of. Axon.
I have 14 sentences and 16 topics. These are including what is and where is as topics.
Estoy impresionada. Sí. Espera. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Pick up your first color. So these are a little different. So in your first color, what I want you to do is I want you to count up how many sentences you had. And right next to where you wrote your paragraph, so in the space to the left of it, oh, too far. Oh, oh, ah! Goodness gracious. Well, okay, so right here I want you to write the number of sentences that you had. So if you had 5, you should put a number 5 there with that color. And then look at your paragraph and make sure that it's in Spanish.
Yep.
And if both of those things are true, when you flip it over to your rubric, if you have at least 3 sentences and it's in Spanish, go ahead and circle or highlight the box that's right under the 100%. If you had 2 sentences and mostly Spanish, like you threw in some random English words, then circle under the 90%. It's like half Spanish, half English, 80%, if you didn't write in Spanish at all, redo. Now switch colors.
Red. I accidentally circled the wrong color.
In your second color, I want you to go through and I want you to find where you said what it is. So where you said bridge or dogs or theater. And then I also want you to find, circle it or highlight it or underline it. And then I want you to find where it is. So where you said like it was either in San Francisco or California or Alaska or Colorado or Denver. And then I want you to find at least one weather phrase to circle.
Okay.
And at least one thing where you said there are mountains, there is snow, there is water, there is trees, any of those.
I have a lot of there is not.
That's fine too. If you said what there is not, that would work too. Okay. Yep. If you had all 4 of those things, what it is, where it is, weather, and something you can see, then go ahead and circle the 100% box. If you had lots of descriptions but maybe missed one of these, circle the 90%. If you only have like like 2 or 3 details total, the 80%, and if you have 1 or less, the redo. How'd we do?
Great.
Yay! Awesome! Okay. I'm gonna come get your papers, and you need to pack up and get ready to go. No, Santa, I'm at the 5th grade, so I don't think you really want to stay. Oh, exit! What? 5B.